What's going on, guys? We're back, baby. Hey, man, I've got to say thank you so much. You guys have been blowing up these recent videos, man. Tons of new subscribers, comments, sharing the video. Thank you so much, man. Every single like, share, subscribe, comment helps this weird ecosystem that is the YouTube algorithm, and it pushes the video. And if even one more, two more, five more, 100 more people get to see the content that we're making here, I believe we're bringing something of value and some information that a lot of people aren't seeing about Ukraine. Even if it's, depending on the video probably, but I do believe that we're making a difference when we can get new eyes on this footage. So thank you guys so much. So welcome back to your most biased pro-Ukrainian American on YouTube. Thank you guys for coming. We got some more Ukraine videos, news, footage. There was a couple things I wanted to talk about before we jump into it, man. You guys know we've been trying to help John and Patrick set up their drone team, right? These guys have been in country. Or actually, just listen.
Hello everyone from Different Breed. My name is John from Sweden. This is Patrick from Norway. We've been in Ukraine for 4 years now. We are transitioning into drones and we're taking drone classes right now, and we need your help. We are launching a fundraiser for controllers, ground station cables, antennas and goggles. We're very thankful for all you guys' help up until this point. It means a lot to us. And a lot of the work we've been doing down here wouldn't be possible without you guys' help. So we truly appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And Slava Ukraini! Героям слава!
Last night, you guys, somebody donated $700 to USD to Patrick and John to help with get their drones up and running. So I don't know who you are, but thank you so much, man. And John and Patrick are working on putting something special together for you and everybody else who has helped these guys. Thank you so much, man. We're already over a quarter of the way to hitting our goal, which is like 3,900, I believe, or around there. I'll put it up here. Let's get these guys moving, man. Let's get these guys active, combat effective, and then let's start getting their footage so I can show you guys where your money's going, okay? Anyways, let's jump into this. There's something I wanted to show you before we jump into all of it, and this just goes with some of the stuff we've been talking about lately.
There's no question that Vladimir Putin's Russia is taking serious action to undermine our efforts for success in Iran. Is there any question about that?
Senator,
is there any question that Putin is helping Iran fight America?
I think there's actions and activities that are mindful of the hearing room we're in, but there's definitely some action there.
They're pointing out exactly where our base is.
General Kane, man. I've got respect for General Kane, and hopefully I don't end up regret saying that like I did about Pete Hegseth the other day. But if you watch some of these hearings and when these congressmen or senators are asking these people in the presidential cabinet questions, for example, Pete Hegseth or this other guy, who's this other dude? The other guy was sitting next to Hegseth. They just dodge every single question. Or for example, Pam Bondi, when she was testifying about the Epstein stuff. I could name multiple from this administration, but every time they get a question, they either deflect, move on to something else, or they respond with this is ridiculous. Why would you ever ask me that? Blah, blah, blah. General Kane is like, I got to be careful with what I'm saying, but yeah, they're in the mix, bro. Basically. And now listen to what dude says here.
We're in, but there's definitely some action there.
They're pointing out exactly where our bases are, and they're resulting in some hits on our bases. Russia is an unsavory actor in this.
That's it. An unsavory actor. Okay. Just call it what it is, dude. They are our enemy. Point blank, period. It really bugs me when anybody tries to beat around the bush about Russia's influence in everything bad that's happening, basically, and especially when it comes from like a conservative news station like Fox, who's always kind of like trying to protect Russia for some reason. It feels like it's like, dude, just say it. They suck ass, bro. Period. Full stop. They are supplying Iranians with intelligence on how to kill and destroy American military personnel and infrastructure. That's it, dude. This is really simple. Bad guys.
Absolutely true. Helping any sort of assistance with targeting is definitely an action that should never be tolerated.
Right. So that's important because
But we will tolerate it.
the president is in contact with President Putin. What do you think he's telling him?
Well, I think he's telling him that Iran is going to be over pretty soon, and Russia better get in line as well.
Do you see Ukraine, the success they're having, how they've adjusted to the battlefield, how they've innovated with drones?
Yes, it really is amazing to see the agility of the Ukrainian army and, frankly, the toughness of the Ukrainian people.
In 2 weeks.
This it's so refreshing to hear. I don't even know who this guy is, to be honest. Let me know in the comments. But to hear officials, I'll call him an official, that are not so disconnected from what's happening in Ukraine. And this guy's like, dude, they're amazing. The people are strong as hell. They're innovation. Hey, I don't know. The way the Ukrainians are fighting this war, basically, it's epic. And it's really cool to hear people on the right side of this. So I just want to show you guys that clip because it really goes along with what we've been talking about as far as Iran, Russia's relationship, basically having effects here in Ukraine and other places. All right, so this one, it says uprising in Tuapse, residents against Putin, and blah, 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 blah. So this is where we just watched a couple days ago, that massive oil fire that the Ukrainian fixed-wing drones hit that oil refinery. This is talking about that. Now listen to this.
Tuapse residents are demanding an answer. Why are volunteers and local residents handling the aftermath of the oil refinery disaster, rather than Rosneft itself, which owns the burning facility? The refinery isn't the town's mainstay, but it has grown to the size of a city within a city. The state-owned company, which annually siphoned profits from Tuapse, is in no hurry to help. Local residents are outraged. I was born in Tuapse, and with all my heart and soul I love and care for my city, writes a local resident on the Telegram channel, My Tuapse. According to her, such businesses should not be located within residential areas in principle. The rule was ignored, and people, animals, the sea, and nature suffered. The authorities shifted the problem onto volunteers. Social media reminds us that Rosneft is managed by Putin's friend Igor Sechin, who earns a salary of $61 million a year. Those who joyfully supported the invasion of Ukraine in 2022 and organized car rallies with the letter Z will pay for the war. A burning factory and black rain are the logical outcome of support that seemed free, users note. According to publicly available data from early 2025, Igor Sechin's salary alone for 2024 was approximately 4.6 billion rubles. This equates to approximately 18.5 million rubles per day for 248 working days. The Rosneft CEO's salary is 15 to 20 million rubles per month, plus bonuses and other payments. Given the burning refinery, this amount is especially telling. Recall.
So basically, we don't have to watch this whole thing. It's just a few minutes, but basically they're saying the Russian government and the people who have been benefiting from the money from this oil refinery are completely hands off when it comes to helping the people of this town fix their city. It's just coming down to volunteers basically trying to fix this stuff. So this just goes with it compounds on my statements about this paradigm shift in power between Russia and Ukraine. For the first time since I've been here in country, we have been, in my opinion, again, we have seen a shift of power that is starting to gradually lean in Ukraine's favor between all of the deep strikes that are happening, between global opinion of Russia, between people in the U.S. actually now starting to step up and kind of have Ukraine's back a little bit more, or having more of a voice to be able to cover Ukraine or help Ukraine. There's a lot happening, so Dude, I'm struggling with the words today. Look at this. What's going on there? Just kind of verifies more of the opinion that I have about the shift of power. So this is Magyar's Birds. We've been watching a lot of Magyar's Birds, man. They drop like 2 videos a day. This was uploaded just today. These drone strikes happened today. It's crazy to me. And it shows it. Like they show dates on these drone feeds that it was today. But this is pretty interesting, dude. If you look here on this map, it's hard to see because it's so dark, but it's a map of Ukraine, and then this highlighted red with the bright red spots is the area that Russia occupies currently, and the bright red spots are the areas that Ukraine has been able to strike. Okay, now just for a frame of reference here, you know, we always got deep state up. This is the same map. It's the, you know, this is Ukraine. The light red area, shaded area, is ground that Russians took during the full-scale invasion in February 2022 is when it started. That's what they've taken in the last 4 years. This purple area up here in Luhansk, part of Donetsk, and then all of Crimea, that's what they annexed. That's what they stole. Russia stole back in 2014. So this is land they already had, this purple stuff. The red is what they've been able to take in the last 4.5 years, literally moving at a snail's pace. But I wanted to just show you guys this here, and then come back over here and show you this again, and how much they're targeting in what is that purple shaded area. If you can remember where that purple shaded area is, we haven't been able to touch infrastructure or enemy assets in that area ever up until recently, and with the exception of some fixed wing deep strikes. Now we're hitting them with FPVs, and that's what this video is about here. 38. This was in so this was in April. I'm sorry, the next one's in May. So this is 38 strikes on air defense assets in Russia in April. This is just for Magyar's Birds. This is one drone unit in Ukraine. There's hundreds of drone units. Now, granted, Magyar's Birds is probably one of the most effective, but even your less effective drone teams are still hitting targets. So all of this piggybacks, man. All of this piggybacks and confirms this idea that Russia's struggling more than ever, because you don't see this kind of stuff on, you know, your regular news. If you're one of those that, you know, like your parents just watch CNN or they just watch Fox, that's where they get all of their news for the entire world all the time. They're not talking about this kind of stuff, which is understood. Whoa, easy. Can't be showing all that on here. They don't share that kind of information on the mainstream, like legacy media outlets, right? Which is understandable. This might be smaller stories, but if you see enough of these smaller stories like this, you start to gather this perspective and understanding that Russia's getting their asses kicked right now. Okay. Fuel crisis in Crimea. Oh, no, hold on. Before we do that one, let's do this one. Nope, still not the right one. Okay. Maybe it was this one.
Agents of the Ukrainian and Crimean Tatar military movement, Atesh, are reporting a fuel crisis among the occupiers in the Kherson region. This situation is caused by the Defense Forces strikes on Crimea. The Telegram channel Atesh reported this. The attack on Feodosia was particularly painful for the invaders, as it disrupted fuel supplies to the occupiers in the Kherson direction. Atesh agents in the Kherson region reported that Russian armed forces units in the Ola Prystan area are facing a severe shortage of fuel and lubricants. This shortage is a direct consequence of a series of strikes by the Ukrainian Defense Forces on Crimea's fuel infrastructure. The attack on the oil depot in Feodosia was particularly painful for the occupiers, as it has left the invaders group in the Kherson direction experiencing a severe fuel shortage. The equipment is at a standstill. We're not moving anywhere. The commanders have ordered us to conserve rigorously. We're only providing the bare minimum for movement. They say there will be fuel, but no one knows when, says a soldier from the Dnepr Force Group who contacted Atesh. The movement added that Russians are trying to compensate for the shortage with small deliveries, but this is essentially patching up holes. The agents reminded that they continue to work and assist the defense forces by passing on information to them. Logistics strikes are working, and we continue to transmit data on fuel routes and storage points to the Ukrainian defense forces, the movement noted. Russia is seeing shortages of certain fuel grades as Ukrainian drone attacks reduce refinery runs, and high borrowing costs mean private filling stations can't afford to stockpile fuel, according to traders and retailers. Ukraine has stepped up drone attacks on Russian energy infrastructure in recent weeks, targeting refineries and export terminals to reduce Moscow's export revenues, stir domestic discontent, and push the Kremlin to peace talks. The attacks have reduced Russian oil refining by almost a fifth on certain days and cut exports from key.
This is the one at Tuapse that we watched at the beginning.
Ports, pushing Moscow close to reducing its oil production. Russia has a big surplus of diesel, but its gasoline production matches domestic demand, meaning the drop in refining runs could lead to shortages. Spokesman of the Southern Defense Forces, Vladislav Voloshin, said that on the Kherson direction, the intensity of use of Russian unmanned aerial vehicles is increasing, in particular aircraft-type drones. According to him, Russian forces are trying to use such drones to expand the so-called kill zone and strike deeper.
Look how janky those things are, dude. And they're so effective, but it literally looks like a model airplane you could purchase at your nearest Michaels or something that's made out of balsa wood, and they just slap on a battery and some explosives.
At Ukrainian logistics. The number of drones has increased not sharply, but gradually, yet quite quickly. In that same Kherson direction, we are talking about 700 to 800 kamikaze drones per day, of which 300 to 350 are aircraft-type drones and loitering munitions such as Molniya, Lancet. They have greater range. They use jet Shahids, which also have high speed and fly far. The Russians want to strike our logistics, our transport infrastructure.
That's an anti-tank mine on that thing, dude. I'm surprised that thing can even fly with that.
They want to strike further, expand this so-called kill zone, so they increase the number of these drones, says Voloshin. According to him, overall on the southern direction, the kill zone is 10 to 15 kilometers on both sides of the assumed line of contact. At the same time, in certain sections, particularly in steppe areas, it can reach up to 20 kilometers.
So that's pretty much all I got, you guys. I'm filming some more videos today as well that I got pulled up here, but we'll leave it just that for this video. I want to be clear about something. These strikes that are happening, in these deep strikes that Ukraine is doing to Russia, has been stepped up exponentially, and it's making a huge impact. We see Russia attacks Ukraine every single day, but they're not making impacts like this. Russia will fly a random Shahid into a civilian passenger bus, for example, and kill a baby and then 2 teenagers. That's their strike, okay? Ukraine is hitting massive economic foundational resource facilities, right? These oil dude, what is my problem today? These oil refineries, factories are multi-million, if not billions of dollars worth of infrastructure that Ukraine's taken out. Not to mention the cost down the line that it is affecting Russia because they're not able to now produce their main resource, gas and oil, through that facility. So I don't know. It's exciting, man. There's a lot going on. I think Putin's probably feeling the pressure more than he has ever. From my understanding, at the very least, they're not moving on the front line. In some cases, I've heard that the Ukrainians are taking ground. And deeper, when we're talking about fourth and fifth line of the battlefield, right? Back here in Donetsk. Where is it? Donetsk City. Here. Back here in Donetsk. Oops, sorry. Donetsk City, that has been a stronghold since 2014, a logistics and supply stronghold. They're getting hit back here now. We've recently seen some footage of Ukrainians hitting Mariupol, which is almost 100. Let's see, just to be positive, I don't want to say this wrong. 120 kilometers from the front, and Ukrainians are making successful strikes back here. The enemy's got to be feeling the pressure. I mean, we already know that your average soldiers feel the pressure every single day. It's these higher ups like Putin and the elites in the government that I feel like may not always feel that pressure, but I think they're feeling it now. So you guys do me a favor, please like, share, subscribe. Let's get more people seeing this information, man. Share it with anybody who you think might give a shit, or maybe they know somebody who might give a shit. Okay. I love you guys. We'll see you in the next video.